In today's video, we are talking about a controversial subject. Either way, if they did recast T'Challa or didn't, there was going to be some kind of online backlash. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, pop culture-based content that we do here on this channel on a daily basis. If you're good to subscribe to the channel, it really helps the channel grow. Like the video, comment down below. Should they recast T'Challa? Shouldn't they? Are you absolutely freaking annoyed with what they have done? Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Trying to hit 23,000 followers over there. Also, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. So, careful for minor spoilers. So, it is pretty much confirmed that Shuri is taking over the mantle of Black Panther. Obviously, Shuri is T'Challa's sister in the MCU. Obviously, she's not actually becoming T'Challa. She's just going to become Shuri, Black Panther. And this has literally been affirmed and confirmed by a recent Lego toy leak. And before you say toy leaks don't mean anything, toy leaks are generally real. Now, I know within this movie, they did get Okoye, they did get Nikita, they did get Warstu, they did get Shuri, they did get M'Baku. They got so many people into the Black Panther suit. I get it. But when there's a toy leak that drops and there's only one character, which is Shuri becoming Black Panther, it's pretty obvious. Then you look at the trailer, female character. So it's obviously could be Okoye, could be Nikita, could be Shuri, could be anyone, but it's literally there in your face. I'll probably have it in the thumbnail. Also, careful for minor spoilers. The plot leak does suggest that Shuri becomes Black Panther, that Nikia, I don't know how you say that name properly, don't butcher me down below. In fact, do butcher me down below. And it says Nikita has a child, and it's T'Challa's child, and said child will become the next Black Panther. So, in theory, the next real Black Panther will be the son of T'Challa, but still, I think it's very disrespectful what Marvel have done. Now, I have been back and forth about making this video, but when the trailer dropped and they're actually using T'Challa's death as a major plot point throughout the first third of this movie, I think it's disrespectful. They are literally using T'Challa's funeral. In this movie, I get what they're trying to do, but even T'Challa himself, he knew the role of T'Challa was bigger than him. He was just happy that there was a live screen action version of this movie. So someone called E-Man's Review has kind of made this campaign to recast T'Challa, and he recently put up this tweet saying this: serious question, how is this not exploitive? Did people not know and mourn Chadwick's passing? Why is this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Marketing. Incredibly upsetting to see real life black trauma used in a way to generate profit. Now, I don't want to get too much into that, but I do think that they are exploiting the death of Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, because they've literally got a memorial picture of him in the trailer. Now, it would be better if we got a new T'Challa rather than making M'Baku, Shuri, etc. the next Black Panther. We need a new T'Challa. Recast T'Challa. Marvel's done this with so many characters. The Hulk got recast. Rhodey got recast. I'm sorry, I don't really care for that character, but my point is, if this was a different character, so let's say the Spider-Man actor or the Batman actor passed away in real life, hypothetically speaking, would DC get rid of Batman forever? No. Would Marvel, Sony get rid of Spider-Man forever? No. They'd recast Spider-Man. They've recasted Spider-Man so many times. Toby, Andrew, Tom Holland, who's next? But Marvel decided to kill off the character, hence why it's called Wakanda Forever. I really do think it is massively disrespectful. Now, I had no idea how big Recast T'Challa was until I decided to make this video. And I typed recast into YouTube, and before I finished typing it, it said Recast T'Challa. So you know it's huge when it comes up, when I put RE, it literally came up with Recast T'Challa. Now, I'm not saying this campaign and this movement is as big as Restore the Snyderverse, but it is freaking big when you put the word RE and it comes up on YouTube, and I've also looked it up on Twitter and some other platforms, and it literally comes up with Recast T'Challa. Now, I didn't make a video on this because I try not to be controversial and do controversial based content, but when they are literally using the death of T'Challa, the death of Chadwick, essentially, as part of the marketing, I really think Marvel has missed here. Marvel was always going to get a backlash of who took over the Black Panther mantle, but there is literally no reason not to recast T'Challa. Like I said, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, if any of them actors died in real life, hypothetically speaking, Marvel, DC wouldn't kill off the characters. They wouldn't give a new person the name of Black Panther, etc. So it is very strange how they did it. Marvel was always going to get a backlash, but they could have taken the backlash if they did recast T'Challa. Now, this tweet recently came up saying, Recast T'Challa is not asking for immediate recast. Recast T'Challa is not preventing anyone else from taking up the mantle of Black Panther. Recast T'Challa is asking Marvel Studios not to use the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman as a plot device in their fictional storytelling. Recast T'Challa is asking for the portrayal of T'Challa to be allowed to continue in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, if the plot leak is real, I think it's such a bad way they are killing off T'Challa in the MCU. You gotta understand, T'Challa's a freaking badass. That fight with Killmonger was freaking badass. He had some badass action in Endgame or Infinity War. I can't remember which one it is. But they're killing him off, essentially, with he gets ill. Now, I know everyone can get ill, but he died of cancer in real life. So to even have how he dies in the MCU very, very close to what happens in the MCU, I think it's a very disrespectful. Now, I know they're trying to honor the death of Chadwick Boseman, but putting up a center memorial in the trailer does not make perfect sense. Now, there's always going to be a for and against in this situation, but I do think it's very disrespectful. Now, I know the storyline is going to be that T'Challa's son with Nikita at some point will become T'Challa, but we're going to see the birth of that child in this movie, so it's going to take a long, long time before said T'Challa's son in this movie, if this happens, but the plot leak's pretty much 100% bang on based on the trailer. This kid within this movie would take a long time to be old enough to take over the mantle. So I do think it's very disrespectful. You can't disagree with the decision not to recast T'Challa while also being respectful. Either way, Marvel were gonna get a massive backlash. Now, there is so much backlash. There's fans are not happy about what they're doing. There's so many posts. This is very disingenuous, especially when you leave out the part where in the comics, both T'Challa and Shuri had been Black Panther. But what makes this even more disingenuous is where we aren't just calling for a recast of Black Panther, nor did we say they cannot look up Shuri. What people's point is, yes, Shuri could become Black Panther, just like she did in the comics. But what they are saying is, they are literally killing off T'Challa as a character within the MCU. And then what I find even more weird is we get this information about an open world single-player Black Panther game is in development at a new Seattle-based EA studio led by former VP Kevin Stevens. According to Jeff Grubb, who is an industry insider, he has had some stuff right before. The story sees the player character resuming the mantle of Black Panther after the hero's passing. That just seems to me like they're trying to cash in on the hype of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, but it's in production. It would have made more sense if they wanted to do this, to hypothetically bring the game out when the movie came out. So I'm just reading some random tweets now, and they're all literally saying similar things. Something very disrespectful about not just using T'Challa anymore since the passing of Chadwick. For the film, while I think a recast would have been okay, I understand the decision not to, but not to use T'Challa in another way mediums feels wrong, very disrespectful. Marvel is getting freaking flamed over this. I am excited to see Black Panther 2, but a tad disappointed they didn't recast T'Challa. The character's image is important for young black men. Chadwick is hard to follow. He was phenomenal. I wish T'Challa's story would have continued. So even Chadwick himself said publicly that the story of T'Challa is much bigger than him as an actor. I'm a big fan of Marvel Studios, but they're not always right. Not choosing to recast T'Challa will be one of the biggest errors. Recast T'Challa. Now, recast T'Challa. T'Challa was trending for the last few days. Also, let's go over one more tweet before we wrap this up. Still hoping within the vast multiverse we see T'Challa again in the MCU. As E-Man Reviews, who started this campaign off, said to me a bit ago, it's been very unlikely that we see a recast T'Challa in Wakanda Forever. That wasn't the expectation. Rather, the door is open for a future recast. But there was so many issues with shooting this movie. They could have done it if they wanted to do it. The main star, or sorry, not the main star, one of the stars of Bridgerton, Reggie Page, was actually rumored to be the new T'Challa, but that never happened. It turns out he's actually going to be in Secret Invasions, which is a Disney Plus series. So let me know what you think about not recasting T'Challa, killing him off, and essentially killing off the whole origin and the whole, essentially killing everything off to do with T'Challa, and not recasting him. I really think Marvel will get a huge backlash. There already is a huge backlash, and it is a massive miss for the MCU. And let me know, what do you think? They've literally confirmed that Shuri is the next Black Panther by a toy league. It's very disrespectful. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. As I said, I don't normally do controversial videos. I try to stay away from this. But I felt like it was kind of immoral, wrong what Marvel have done. I could be wrong. They might recast T'Challa in this movie, but it's very unlikely that we get a funeral for one T'Challa, then another T'Challa pops up unless they use a multiverse. Yeah, they're not going to do that. So like always, guys, check us out on all the platforms. Very much appreciate all the love and support you guys give me. Constructive criticism is always welcome here on this channel if it's done in a respectful way. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.